One of the questions we get asked a lot since we announced the game back in August is how did we get the Mars Attacks IP? So in this devlog, let's chat about the process for licensing an IP and how the hell we got it as a small indie studio. The idea for Mars Attacks really started with the reverse zoo type gameplay mechanic, where humans are enclosed in habitats inside an alien theme park. It's only once we had the core concept that we went out looking for worlds or characters that could inhabit that game. There are so many games released these days that one of the biggest challenges for indie studios is breaking through the noise. And that's really why we started looking at potential famous IPs that could complement the core concept of gameplay.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
Another advantage of partnering with an IP is the IP can really provide tonal references and personality, and we can focus on a lot of the depth of gameplay system. So we had the core concept for the game itself, and being big fans of Mars Attacks, we immediately thought that it would be a perfect fit with the gameplay. So the first step was working out who owned the IP, and to do that we looked up trademark registrations in the US database and found that Mars Attacks was owned by Tops, and from that got the details of the law firm that registered the trademark for them. We got in touch with the law firm and asked them to put us in touch with their client in relation to potential licensing opportunities.
Oh, they got this all screwed up.
So you don't work on a contingency basis?
No, money down.
Mars Attacks is now famous for the Tim Burton movie in the 1990s, but was actually based on a collectible card set from the 1960s. What this meant was we could go to the creators of the original cards and skip talking to Warner Brothers and their legal team. At this stage we didn't really have a playable prototype we could show, although we did have our previous game, This Means Warp, to lend credibility to our pitch. But I think it was really the core concept and a slightly new take on the IP that really appealed to Tops. Another important part of talking to IP holders is really to demonstrate how much we'd researched and understood the IP and how we could bring it forward in a new medium. On the legal side, licensing deals are typically for a specific idea and a set amount of time. So in our case, for Mars Attacks, the deal with Tops is specific to the gameplay concept and also for a set duration after release. That will then roll on indefinitely, assuming that everybody's happy. Licensing the cards means we don't have access to the actor likenesses from the movie. But we do have access to a load of really cool, original, retro sci-fi illustrations. One interesting grey area is the iconic sound from the movie, which a lot of people have requested we put in the trailers. So we're still looking into whether we can use that. It's iconic to the aliens and has been used in Mars Attacks comic books and things like that. So at the moment we've used the ack in writing, but hope to get the audio into the game as well soon.
There is a house in New Orleans.
You may have also noticed that we used the song House of the Rising Sun in the announcement trailer, which is another interesting licensing question. The song itself is originally attributed to a guy called Doc Watson, but is now in the public domain. It was made famous by the Animals cover in the 1960s, but as long as you use a completely original composition, then there are no licensing issues there, which is exactly what we did. There are a number of pros and cons for partnering with an IP on a game, some of which we hadn't anticipated. On the plus side, the increased exposure was way beyond what we expected. Our announcement trailer, for example, has got over 1 million views on YouTube. The IP also really helps us set the tone for the game and gives us loads of ideas for weird and wacky and wonderful stuff we can put in. On the other side, one of the things we're trying to do with the game is bring something new and different and unexpected to the IP. I hadn't really anticipated the amount of expectation that comes with using an IP and the amount of people that had an existing game in their head already associated with Mars attacks, something like Destroy All Humans. So a few people made their feelings very known in the comments on YouTube. But personally, I'm not too interested in reskinning an existing game just to leverage an IP, and hopefully our unique gameplay concept can bring something new to Mars Attacks as well. Another consideration with licensing an existing IP is that we require approvals, so all of our core marketing assets and actually the game itself. And also, some publishers will steer away from licensed game because they can't build their own franchise out of that. So we've been having discussions with publishers, and the increased traction that the game has got has resulted in some great discussions, whereas others have closed the door immediately because it is a licensed game. So hopefully that gives you a bit more detail about the licensing discussions behind Mars Attacks. If you've been following the devlog, you know we run a competition, so if this is your name here, then please get in touch and we'll make sure that you get a free Steam key when the game comes out next year. If you'd like to enter this time, all you need to do is be a subscriber to the channel and drop a comment down below. We'd love to hear any other questions you might have related to licensing. Thanks very much for joining, and if you'd like to see more details about how the trailer was made, check out this video.
Maybe just put a little bit more emphasis on the like I don't know.
I've got to practice my ak.
Yeah.